Hello, students and viewers. Today we are going to learn our next point of chapter number 2, that is flower. Previously, we have learned in detail about inflorescence. We have learned total 3 types of inflorescence, and that too with examples. And in today's lecture, we are going to focus the detailed studies of in case of flower. Now, what is the definition of flower? So it is highly modified and condensed shoot of limited growth and specialized for sexual reproduction and formation of fruits and seeds. So here please do remember it is highly modified and condensed shoot. See, flower is nothing but what it is, condensed shoot. So why it is called as condensed shoot? Because as we know in a shoot we have nodes and internodes. Suppose this is our main shoot or we can say a stem. Each and every stem has its node and internode. Suppose it has 3 node, and let me change the color of my pen. This part, right? So this one is our internodal portion, and whatever the red color, that is nodal portion, right? So such a nodes and internodes, they are present on a shoot, right? And hence this flower is called as what? It is a condensed shoot of limited growth, right? Because we didn't see any growth in case of flower. Once the flower is in blooming condition, when it undergoes the uh, means pollination, fertilization, and then formation of seeds and fruits, right? So this is the process of a particular flower and the end of flower. Next, see here parts of typical flower. So everyone knows what are the parts of this typical flower, but even though as this is in our study, we are going to repeat the flowers of types, this the parts of flower. So here you can see this one. Again, I want to change the color of my pen. If you see this one, right? This is the this part, right? So this is what the stalk of flower. The stalk of flower, we called it as what? Pedicel. I will write here only P, right? So pedicel, the tip of pedicel is swollen, right? So this swollen portion is called as what? Receptacle. This receptacle is also called as thalamus. It is also called as torus, right? It is also called as torus, thalamus, or receptacle. Please do remember all these synonyms of the swollen tip of pedicel, right? So this is stalk of flower is nothing but what? Pedicel, right? Now come to next part, that is sepals. So every green portion which is present at the base of flower, this is nothing but what? All these are sepals. Okay. So sepal aggregated together to form the structure called as what? Calyx. Right. So after that you will see here the central portion. Here the first one is stigma, the central portion is style, and then ovary. The altogether we called it as carpel, or this is also called as pistil. So please do remember again these names of these carpel and pistil. And carpel and pistil, they are aggregated together to form the main structure. It is called as what? Gynoecium. Gynoecium is female reproductive structure. So here this is our gynoecium, right? And come to the now yellow part. That yellow part, this is the upper portion. This one is anther, and the stalk, it is called as what? Filament. And even one more structure is here, that is called as what? Connective. So altogether we called this anther, connective, and filament it as stamen, right? And stamen again grouped together to form a structure called as androecium, right? Now, whatever the pink structure you are observing, that are petals. Okay, so petals again, they are forming the structure called as corolla. So here, these are what? These are the parts of a typical flower. Please do remember all these structures, particularly this receptacle, torus. This is very important during this lecture, where we are going to study the nodal portion and internodal portion. What are the botanical term for it? Next. Now, the parts of typical flower again, see here, the first one is bract. So here, bract again, earlier we have discussed in case of inflorescence. So leaf-like structure whose axil, in whose axil a flower often develops, right? So here, this is the pedicel and suppose this is our flower, right? So from this is leaf-like structure. We called it as what? Bract, right? So this is the leaf-like structure which is present at the base of pedicel, or we can say at the base of flower. So that is nothing but bract. Now pedicel. Pedicel is nothing but what? This portion. Pedicel is the stalk of flower, which is a short, it may be a short, it may be a long, or even it is absent. If it is present, we call it as pedicellate flower, and if the pedicel is absent, we call the flower as sessile flower. Now, the next part is receptacle, right? Thalamus or torus. So just we have seen here this receptacle or thalamus or torus is nothing but what? This is the swollen portion of the tip of pedicel, right? Pedicel is nothing but what? It is the pedicel is nothing but stalk of flower, right? So this swollen portion is called as thalamus. It is also called as torus. It is also called as receptacle. All these names you must have to remember. So now here we have two floral whorls, that are accessory whorls and the essential whorls, right? Accessory whorls, they are also called as helping, or they are also called as non-essential whorls, right? So which are those non-essential? So these are calyx and corolla. These are the non-essential whorls, whereas the essentials are androecium and gynoecium. These two are essential wholes because they are taking part in reproductions. So hence androecium, gynoecium, they are called as essential wholes. Now, so thalamus has nodes and internodes. See, okay, so thalamus is nothing but what? This is the swollen portion of the tip of pedicel, right? And on which our flower arises, right? So suppose this is the ovary, then style and the stigma, right? So here now you will have the calyx, then this is the corolla part, then these are the stamens, right? So this portion is nothing but what? Thalamus portion. Thalamus, it's also called as torus, it is also called as receptacle. So this swollen tip, it has what? Nodes and internodes. So see here, a flower shows 4 nodes and 3 internodes. Okay, so most of the flower they has 4 nodes and 3 internodes. Now which are those? Now see here, 3 internodes, right? So see here, anthophore, androphore, gynophore, and gynoandrophore, and or it is also called as androgynophore. So we will discuss one by one what is this antho, andro, gyno, and fourth one is gynoandrophore or androgynophore. Now let's begin with it. Now anthophore. So anthophore is nothing but what? It is the internode between whom? Calyx and corolla. This is very important part. the internode between calyx and corolla. So see here, this is our corolla and this is calyx. So whatever the portion you are observing, so this portion is nothing but what? Anthophore. See, right? So anthophore is nothing but the internode between calyx and corolla. This portion, this whole portion is called as what? This anthophore. Next, androphore. Androphore. Now see the internode between corolla and androecium. See, previously it was calyx and corolla. We called it as anthophore. Now here androphore. So here internode between corolla and androecium. The example is passiflora. So here you can observing this portion, this one. So this is your androphore, right? So all these are androecium, whatever you are observing here in the pic, right? And here as well as here in the bunch. So here and this particular portion, this is androphore, right? Or this is magnified over here, here, this part is androphore. Now, next is gynophore. Now, the internode between androecium and gynoecium is called as gynophore. See, from base to apex we are moving while explaining these internodal portion, right? The first one was the internode between calyx and corolla, we called anthophore. Then the internode between corolla and androecium, we called it as androphore. Now the internode between androecium and gynoecium, we called it as gynophore, right? So here you are observing this part, this portion, see this, right? So here you are observing what? This part, it is a gynophore. And these are the stamens which are arises over here. So the internodal portion between the androecium and gynoecium is called as what? Gynophore. Now, next fourth internal portion, that is gynoandrophore or androgynophore. Now here see you have these terms gyno as well as andro, right? Means here both the internodal portions are present. Which internal portion? Androphore and gynophore. These two, they are present here. Even in the diagram you can see over here, the androphore is nothing but what? The internode which is present between calyx and androecium, that is your androphore, right? Gynophore is nothing but what? The internode which is present between androecium and gynoecium, that is your gynophore. So if the androphore and gynophore, they are present together in a flower, it is the term is called as what? Gynoandrophore, or it is also called as androgynophore. Okay, both are similar, right? Next, floral whorls. Now see here, these are the four types of floral whorls, which are those: calyx, corolla, androecium, gynoecium. These are the four floral whorls, and among which calyx and corolla, these are non-essential, and androecium, gynoecium, these are essential floral whorls. Now, non-essential, these are also called as what? Accessory, right? They are only supporting to the flower. Calyx, it's going to protect the flower as well as it helps in photosynthesis, whereas corolla, it is actually protecting the androecium and gynoecium, and even it helps in pollination, because by seeing the color of the petals, the pollinators, they are visiting to the flower, right? And hence they are called as non-essential. They are also called as accessory whorls, right? They are also called as helping whorls. Now, essential, these are two. We know that androecium and gynoecium, as they are taking part in a reproduction. Now, which flower is called as complete flower? Which flower is called as incomplete flower, right? So, complete flower when we are going to call when all the floral whorls, that is your calyx, then corolla, then if you have the androecium and gynoecium. Okay, so when all these floral whorls they are present together in a flower, then flower is said to be complete flower, right? Where when the flower is not having one of these floral whorl. Okay, if the flower is not having, suppose it is having calyx, corolla, and androecium. It's not having gynoecium, right? Then the flower is said to be incomplete. Even in the next part, next in many flowers, calyx, corolla, and only gynoecium is present, right? In that case, androecium is totally absent, right? So this condition is also we called it as what? Incomplete flower. Okay, any one of the floral whorl is missing. That time the flower is called as what? Incomplete flower. Okay, and here in the complete all the floral whorls they are present. Then flower is called as complete flower. Next, floral symmetry now. Right? Now, floral symmetry describes whether and how a flower in a particular its perianth can be divided into two or more identical or mirror image parts. Right? So, in this symmetry, how many mirror image you are getting from a flower? So, on that your symmetry depends. Right? So, here we will see in our directly in our images. See here. The first flower is called as what? Actinomorphic. It is also called as radially symmetrical flower. So when it is called as actinomorphic and radially symmetrical flower. So see here in this purple color flower, what you are observing is, suppose take a this line. When you are making the part of a flower passing through its radius or passing through its radii, then you will get exactly equal hall. Okay, exactly equal part of that flower. Then the flower is called as what? Actinomorphic, means from any of the radii you are going to get the similar parts of a flower. Any. Okay, means here by passing through any plane you will get the equal parts of a flower. Then flower is called as what? Actinomorphic. And symbol of actinomorphic is circle, and here is this plus sign. That is your actinomorphic symbol. Right? It is also called as what? Radially symmetrical flower. Why radially? Because passing through its radius. You are going to get a similar parts of flower. Now, the second part is asymmetrical flower. Asymmetrical also called as what? Irregular, because here you can pass the plane, right? So here you won't get equal parts of a flower, right? And hence they are called as what? Asymmetrical. Here absence of symmetry, hence the term is asymmetrical, right? And the flower is called as what? Irregular. Okay, irregular why? Because all the petals they are not in equal condition. You will not get the symmetrical parts of a flower, right? The third type is zygomorphic. Zygomorphic where here the another term is bilaterally symmetrical flower. Now here it is bi means two. Laterally means the parts which are placed side by side, right? So here when you are passing or cutting this flower, okay, likewise or I can say by in means flower is going to cut only in a single plane by which we are getting the equal parts. Okay, only single plane is giving you the equal parts. That is called as what? Zygomorphic flower, right? So here they are called as what? Bilaterally. Here you can see this portion and this portion. Okay, you are getting only two parts of flower, okay, which are laterally placed, right? And hence the term is bilaterally symmetrical flower. Okay, here what the term is used? Radially. Okay, in any one of the radius you will get the equal parts. Here only one plane. In case of zygomorphic, only in the one plane you are going to get two equal parts, right? And hence it is called as bilaterally symmetrical flower. It is also called as what? Zygomorphic. The symbol of zygomorphic is only this one. This is the symbol of zygomorphic, right? Now here in my next slide, here also you will get the this one is radially symmetrical, right? This one is bilaterally symmetrical, and this is irregular flower, right? Actinomorphic, zygomorphic, and asymmetrical flower. Now, sexuality. Now, here you can see both unisexuality and bisexuality. Unisexual means what? Either stamens or pistil will be present, then we are going to call it as unisexual flower. So, flower may be a staminate flower or flower may be a pistillate flower. So, staminate means what? It's the flower bears only a stamens, right? Then we have to call it as staminate, and the flower which bears only the carpels or the pistils, they are called as pistillate flower, right? So staminate flower, the symbolically represent like this. Okay, only we can say the male flowers, whereas the pistillate flower, they are female flowers, right? Bisexual flowers, it's bearing both stamens and pistil, right? Here we have both the sex organs in a flower, then it is called as bisexual flower, right? And only if only one sex organ is present in the flower, then flower is called as unisexual. Now, insertion of floral whorls on thalamus. Now, how the floral whorls they are placed on a thalamus? Again, it has three types. Let's begin with it. Now, here you can have the images referred as A, B, and C, right? So here you can see the thalamus is nothing but this one, the swollen tip of pedicel. This is your pedicel, right? Pedicel is nothing but what? This is the stalk of flower. Again, I am repeating the same. And this portion is nothing but what? It is also called as thalamus. It is also called as torus. It is also called as receptacle, right? So here you can see all these three images, they are having the different uh, image or different diagram, I can say, where you can going to observe the floral whorls, how they are arranged, right? So here in the first diagram A, what you are going to observe is this is the calyx, corolla, androecium, right? Calyx, this is the corolla, and this one is stamen, that is we can, I use only A, androecium, plural word, right? So here you can see in the centrally placed, which is in red color, this is gynoecium. This is what? Gynoecium, right? So below the gynoecium, or we can say this swollen tip is nothing but what? This is the ovary, right? So below the ovary or below the gynoecium, rest of the floral whorls are coming. Means which floral whorls? The calyx, corolla, and androecium. Below the gynoecium, the rest of the floral whorls they are coming. Hence, this flower is called as what? Hypogynous flower. Hypo means what? Below. Gynous is nothing but what? Gynoecium. Okay, hypo. See here, hypo. The condition is correct. So here below the gynoecium, your calyx, corolla and androecium are coming. Hence the flower is called as what? Hypogynous flower. And in the hypogynous flower, always ovary is superior. Okay. Here you will get always superior ovary. Right. In the second case, you can see here, you can see this portion. So in the middle, okay, so from the middle of the ovary, all the floral whorls there arises, right? So you can see here the calyx, this is the corolla, and this one is stamens. So all these floral whorls there arises from the middle of the ovary, and hence this flower is called as what? Perigynous. Peri means, in a Greek word, peri means middle. Gynous means gynoecium. Please do remember these things. Hypo means here below. Okay. Here hypo means below. Right? And here peri. Peri means what? Here middle. Peri means middle. Sorry, with the help of this mouse, I am writing this. So please consider these mistakes. So peri means middle. From the middle of the ovary, rest of these floral whorls there arises. And in this case, the ovary is half superior. I will write only H, half superior and half inferior. This condition is there in case of ovary. Half superior and half inferior. Right? In case of this C, you can look now all these floral whorls they are coming or arises at the tip of the ovary, right? Hence the flower condition is epi. Here see, epi means above. Epigynous, above the gynoecium, right? So above the gynoecium, let me change the color. Epi means above. Okay. So please do remember these meanings even. Epi means above. So compulsory on the gynoecium, on the ovary, you have to draw the rest of the floral whorls. Right? So here clear cut you will get from the above all these stamens, these are the petals and this is the calyx. There arises. Right? And here ovary condition is inferior. See, ovary condition is what? Inferior. So what we learned in this, these are three types of the insertion of floral whorls on a thalamus. So here we have three types, which are those hypogynous, perigynous and epigynous. Hypo means below the ovary, the floral whorls there arises, and always in this condition, always superior ovary is found. In second condition, perigynous, peri means middle, middle of the ovary, rest of the floral whorls there arises. And here the ovary condition is half superior, half inferior. In case of third condition, epigynous, epi means above, above what? Above the gynoecium, rest of the floral whorls there arises, and the ovary is inferior ovary. Now, Meres condition. Now here next part is Meres. So here see pentamerous, tetramerous and trimerous. Now what is this pentamerous, tetramerous and trimerous? So here please do remember this merous condition is nothing but what? The flower parts they are in 5 in first condition. In second condition it is flower parts they are in a 4, right, or in multiples of 4. In a third condition flower parts they are in a 3 or multiples of 3. So flower parts is nothing but what? The calyx, even your corolla and all the stamens. Here all these three conditions you will found in a 5 parts. Means suppose in case of pentamerous condition, your calyx would be a 5, corolla also 5, and stamens also a 5. Okay, means in a parts of 5, all the flower parts are present. Okay, or I can say floral whorls, they are present in a 5 in number in case of pentamerous, or in multiples of 5. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, likewise it is present. In tetramerous condition, calyx would be a 4, corolla also 4, and stamens also a 4. So likewise, getting in case of trimerous condition, calyx 3, even corolla 3, and your stamens also 3. So likewise here pentamerous, tetramerous and trimerous condition is present. Okay. So merous is nothing but what? It's in number of 5 or in multiple of 5 in case of penta. In case of tetra, it's 4 in numbers of floral parts or multiples of 4. In case of tri, the floral parts are in 3 or multiples of 3. Now, here you can, in the image, you can see the first is trimerous, as its name indicates itself. The tri means 3. So here you can observing petals, there are 3. Here no any close image to see the calyx structure and stamen plus, but please do remember when trimerous condition is there, always calyx, corolla and this androecium stamens, all they are 3 in number. In case of tetra, you can see here all 4 petals you are going to observe. So obviously 4 petals are there. Obviously calyx and stamens would be in 4. In case of penta, you will see here in this diagram you will get the 5 petal, along with here you can even count these stamen number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so likewise this pentamerous, trimerous and tetramerous conditions are present. So likewise I have covered these flower structure in detail, right from its definition, flower parts, which are the essential whole, what are the accessory wholes, which are the nodal, internodal portion, what are the names of it. Even we have seen the insertion of floral whorls and a thalamus, and all these Mayer's conditions, right? And even we have seen the symmetrical flowers, right? So thank you very much for patience listening.